Good evening from here and greetings. The last day, it's like a beginnings and endings. And somehow this retreat feels quite nice to have as some deeper meaning behind all of that, resolutions. And so we will be taking a further topic today. And I always love these quotes, so I will share a couple with you. This is by Carl Sagan. He's an astronomer, and he said, "Don't believe everything you think." I think many people have said that, but he also said it, question your own assumptions, challenge your beliefs, and seek evidence. So it felt connected to the homework, like observing what we're identifying with, the things which can come up, which create thoughts and feelings. It's such a wonderful map we had yesterday, which I've taken a lot of benefit from to see what part of the psyche is working. And John Milton put it beautifully. He said, "He who reigns within himself and rules passions, desires, and fears is more than a king." And I like that because, as was shared yesterday, that you're far superior to anything in the story, and that the truth of each of these living stars, travelers, are far greater than the roles. So it makes sense more than a king in a story. It's worth reminding the true glory and liberty, the possibility, and the feeling, most of all, so that we can approach this world with that nobility. So, yes, would be lovely to hear what your experiences have been, any thoughts. And for the last few hours of this year, I look forward to the session. Good evening. Hi to Prashant.
Hello, and yes, very welcome on this special day, and appreciate you missing the parties to attend this session. But our party is very different. So let us create another minute of experience. And for us, as we have been underlining few times, it is very, very easy because we have the sight and the intellect. Whole game is so easy. The moment we use paras, then everything falls in place. And then you can call it meditation. It is natural for the individual. Now you see the story, and you see the world beyond the story. And the invisible player wakes up. Wakes up to understand his reality. Just like anyone wakes up, he wakes up to his world. So he wakes up to see his true family and true world. His world of immortality. It is normal for him. Immortality is normal. To be that invisible presence is normal. This moment, he sees it that way. And he sees the story separate from him. He is not like an ant completely lost in the story. He is seeing that story from beyond. He is the bird from the sky. and story is separate. Right now, Prashant is speaking, but he knows Prashant is part of the story. And at the same time, the invisible player is aware of this story, but he is awake to his world, unearthly dimension. He understands the immensely beautiful truth of everyone. All are immortal and all are noble. As we continue on our journey, we remember this immensely beautiful truth. Thank you. Today, our subject is rather rather bigger subject, but it is in the form of a story. So we will come to the session rather straight away. Just a quick reminders of some of the things we have spoken. We have been underlining many times that we have a home, and that is important. It is not just a meditation experience. That is where we belong. And we also saw that what we consider as a physical world is actually a story world, a theater, a drama, and the invisible traveler is the invisible player. That is the true self. He is immortal, and immortality changes the game completely. He discovers he is absolutely secure. Story cannot harm him even the slightest. Nothing can hurt him. And we also know if he is not identifying with anything, he has no reasons for offense, no reason for insult. No, nothing can harm him in a subtle way, in a gross way. And so if nothing can harm you, there is no reason for sorrow. What remains is silent joy. That becomes his life. His life is one of happiness, and happiness comes with friends. If there is happiness, there is contentment, there is peace, there is love. All these other things come. That's why the quality of life just becomes a different life altogether. And this great story world, it becomes an extra experience. This whole story. It is also a gift. If something is not going to harm you, it becomes a gift for him. So that is the way he sees. And we should also be aware of the dotted green line. As long as he doesn't cross this dotted green line, he is all right. May I ask, what is the name for this dotted green line? What do you call this dotted line? Is there a name for it?
Ignorance.
Line of ignorance, yes. Yeah, excellent. So in other words, the moment you cross that line, you don't see it as a story, you don't see it as a foreign word. There's confusion. Do you know anyone who has crossed a line in your town? Are there any? Do you meet anyone who have crossed this line?
Yes.
We'll have to report if anyone has crossed a line.
Myself, someone said us.
One time we had a workshop, and this is in Berlin, and our friend, we had a workshop, and after the workshop, he said, "Let us not cross the line. For next hour, we are aiming not to cross the line." And I would ask them, one friend crossed a line, and he would ask me back, "Which way?" He would be happy to cross the line. So now we are coming to our subject. And today's subject is in the form of a story. It is a long story. It's an epic story. And this is a story of a character by name Sita and Ram. The story is epic from India, and that epic is called Ramayana. and and within that the story is beautiful secret about what is happening to our mind, and that is we are going to listen to that story with that meaning. That story truly tells us about a psychodrama that is going on. Things are personified, and we are understanding the drama that is going on inside us, and that's a nice way to understand ourselves, our mind. So in the story, there are few characters, and of course, the one main character is the Sita. Sita is shown as a princess, later the queen. She's beautiful, she's virtuous, she's happy. Sita is representing the soul. In other words, it's the story of the soul. Sita is married to the king. The name of the king is Ram. Ram is strong. Ram is wise. Ram is perfect. A perfect son, perfect brother, perfect in every respect, perfect. The whole kingdom loves Ram. He is representing God. And who is the third character in the story? If you got this perfect queen, princess, queen, perfect king, who is the third character?
Perfect
We,
child.
right, we need a bad guy in any story. So the bad guy we call Ravan. Ravan is the king of the demons. And demons, how do you recognize a demon? Give sorrow, take sorrow. Both taking sorrow is also demonic, and giving sorrow. And here Ravan is the king of the demons, so he is expert in all this. And he wants to give sorrow to Sita. But he cannot give sorrow to Sita. And the simple reason is that there is a line. There is a dotted line. You remember the dotted line. So as long as Sita doesn't cross this dotted line, Ravan cannot do anything. But Ravan is king in ignorance, but he has one wisdom, how to get others into ignorance. That is his skill. He attends various management programs and leadership programs. He's not missing any of these things. He wants to learn new techniques. So Ravan sends a golden deer. And golden deer stays outside the line. Does it look like a deer? You can see the tail.
It been run over? Not sure.
The deer is outside the line. Sita says, "Oh dear, dear, I like this deer," and then she tells herself, "I crossed the line just once. It is not a big problem. Take the deer and come back again. It's a question of just a few minutes. So there is no problem in crossing the line." So one reason or other, she crosses the line, and once she crosses the line, she's in darkness. From wisdom, she comes into darkness. Behind the line is paras, outside is patthar. So now she, in the darkness, she cannot easily find a way to come into light. And in that confusion, she does more mistakes. And under the skin of the deer was another demon from Ravan's world. So Sita is kidnapped. Sita is now in Ravan's world, and Sita is kept as a slave by Ravan. So she was the queen, now she is the slave. And slave to whom? Slave to Ravan. And Ravan has got 10 heads. And each of these heads have got different demands. And Sita is the slave to all these 10 heads. So one head wants one thing, she has to run to get supply to this head. Other head wants something. So she is busy. Sita, the slave, is kept busy to keep this monster, happy. As an example, this one head of Ravan, he wants cigarettes. Can you see that head of Ravan with a cigarette in his mouth? So he says cigarettes, so slave has to immediately get in the car, run to the nearest Tesco Express and bring the supplies to the monster, to her boss. And Ravan says, good slave. Is that the end of our problem? What happens next?
Temporarily, maybe she feels a little relief, but unfortunately, it doesn't feel like it's the end.
Yes. So what happens? What happens next?
Want another one?
Yes. And even this head of Ravan, it gets supplies, that head gets bigger. And bigger head wants more cigarettes. And more you give him, it gets bigger. So you never win with Ravan. More you try to please him, the problem gets worse. And then there are 9 other heads. So one head wants cigarettes. The second head wants alcohol. But all these, one head wants just another person. Obsessed with another person. One head wants a position, promotion. Otherwise, he's angry. How do you know these are Ravan's heads? There is sorrow taken. If he doesn't get it, there will be sorrow. There is craving, there is desperation. These feelings, they are coming from Ravan. Anytime that feeling comes, there is as if you can't live without this. That is exactly what. It can be even coffee. Nothing wrong with coffee, but we have to check, is Ravan behind this coffee? If Ravan is behind, he will be unhappy if he doesn't get it. So one head is obsessed with lust. So all these different heads, the whole department of lust is just one head of Ravan. And then there are all these other heads. Ravan can create new heads. If any praise and all, Ravan is happy with this. all the Ravan's heads are happy with some flattery, some kind of a. So what are all these heads? We said, everything here is our inner drama, psychodrama. There is Sita. Sita is crossing the line. There is what is Ravan? Ravan 10 heads. What will you say they are?
They are our addictions, our weaknesses,
And what is behind addictions?
vices,
And what is behind vices?
desires. Someone's written
Yeah, and then what is behind desires?
ego, emptiness, lack, unmet needs, choice, wrong choice, insecurity.
Yesterday we discussed about false identities. We discussed about the subject of small I. So each head is a small I. It is a false identity, subtle and gross. These Ravan heads that clarifies it better, exactly what is happening. But understand, these are the false identities. And ego is a good answer. Insecurities are because of these false identities. So if we see all these different heads, they are all connected with this story world. What we saw that box, one head is caught with coffee, one head caught with another person. I love, but he is attached to the person. And another head is obsessed with lust. One head is obsessed with cigarettes. Anything is obsessed with. These are all things within that box. That is the nature of Ravan. And that's the way to understand whether it is Ravan or not. So here, Sita is the slave. Sita is running around, making this monster happy. All that Sita wants is some peace. This monster has come into her life, and so give him what he wants, and there will be peace. That's what she thinks, and she gives him what he wants. But problem is not solved. Problem is getting bigger because now that enemy is getting bigger, and bigger enemy is a proper demon. Just like say, if you see a tiny cub of a lion or tiger, they are very nice. You want to feed them, you want to take care of them. He gets bigger. You feed them, he gets bigger. And then he's 3 times your size and he wants to eat you. He has got big teeth and nails. And so this is exactly what happens with the demon. Here it's a demon. You feed the demon, it gets bigger, and bigger demon is a demon. It is a smaller demon, it may appear is harmless. Just like tiger, small tiger, you might not realize there is any problem here. He's so cute, so innocent, and you want to feed him. But when you feed him, you get a monster. You get a tiger. He wants to eat. In the same way here, Ravan, you feed Ravan, you get a proper demon. If you read any newspapers, and sometimes you see some behavior of human beings, why is it like this? It has not come all of a sudden. It is created. Ravan has been getting nourished. You feed Ravan, and then Ravan becomes a big Ravan. Let us hear some thoughts from you.
Yes.
Is there?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking, is there any Ravan in your town? Any sightings of Ravan?
I was feeling that the story is revealing and quite chilling. So someone's replied many in response. There was a question a little earlier. Is some If someone is bad or evil or demonic, how are they able to take sorrow? Wouldn't they just be careless?
Take sorrow. It's a stress, envy. These are all different kinds of sorrow. What we saw, that whole list, even anger, the person is experiencing anger. It is a sorrow for him. The disappointments. The moment there is a desire, then you are having this feeling of missing, emptiness inside. These are all different sorrows.
And in a way, the question, no one is actually bad. We're talking about Sita here as the real person, isn't it?
That's right. We are, seeing this inner drama, personifying these our tendencies, different factors within the individual, and seeing this psychodrama that is going on.
So a couple of questions just came in. So is the main way to know if it is an identity or a head or a ego versus living and enjoying is if we are fine with and without? You gave the example of coffee, for example.
As we go through the story fully, we will understand better. But that what you say is right. If there is any time, any kind of a sorrow, then no, for sure, the Ravan is involved in it. It can be in the relationships. You might think, oh, love, love, love. But then one day the other individuals are not there at the house, and you are missing. You are feeling lonely because of that. Then it means Ravan is there in the relationship. And it is good to know this. And then it can be the feeling of desperation. That is also Ravan. Love is nice, but sorrow comes. Sorrow doesn't come in a big depression, but all these are different sorrows.
Maybe this will be also understood as we hear the story further. Question: does Sita ever escape from, well, it says Ram, but maybe she means Ravan. Or
Yeah,
does she?
yeah, we will see. We will see the story further.
Yeah.
So here we saw there is a slave here feeding Ravan, and Ravan is getting bigger, and he's becoming proper demon, into different kinds of taking sorrow, giving sorrow, sad situation of Sita. Ram comes. Someone said, why is Ram delaying so much? Ram is not taking responsibility. But Ram is sending a message to Sita, and the message is that you are in this big trouble. This Ravan is a monster, and he is like a bully. You are in the trap of this bully, and he's getting bigger all this time. But I am Almighty. I am God. So I can free you from Ravan. But there is a condition for this. And this condition is that she takes the first step. Condition is that she takes the decision. First step is the decision. Decision to be free from Ravan. So this is like a condition from God. It is like a noble position. And a surgeon might say to a patient, I can operate on you and you can be free from this tumor. But take a decision, sign the consent. Then only I can operate. If you don't want the operation, surgeon will say, I accept your decision. He steps back. In the same way here, there is Ravan. So Sita is told, take a decision if you really want to be free from Ravan, and and take the first step. If you want to be free from Ravan, then proof of that is the first step. And then Ram will take 100 steps. Now, question for you. Is it an easy decision? Sita is told, this is a monster, and you are suffering because of this monster. Do you want to be free?
Yes, decision is easy. Action is more difficult than.
Let us see the scenario. This is a story happening in everyone's life. This is not just some few people, those who are spiritual effort makers. It is their story. Everyone in your town, they are Sitas, and they got a Ravan, and they got a lion, and they got Ram. That this is happening in everyone's life. And are all the Sitas in your town, they will find it easy? Do they want to be free from Ravan? Then why are they not here? Is it an easy decision that they want to be free from cigarettes, free from alcohol? New Year's party, they are not going to touch any of this. Is this a decision from all your uh, friends in your village, in your town?
No.
So this decision is let us see what the factors. The choice is between be the queen to Ram or a slave to Ravan. This is a choice. Is it a very difficult choice? Queen to Ram or queen to Ram and life of happiness? That is one choice. Other is slave to Ravan and there is sorrows. Yeah, actually the choice is difficult. And it is difficult because Ravan has got an assistant, and the name of the assistant is Madame Maya. That is the assistant of Ravan. Maya is intelligence in the Ravan's administration. So what happens? Ravan realizes that this Sita, if she takes a decision, Ram helps and Ravan loses a slave. So Ravan asks Maya. Maya is intelligent. So to go into the world of Sita and don't let Sita take the decision. This is the job of Maya. It was just one thing. Don't let Sita take the decision. It's so strategic. If Sita takes the decision, Ram helps and Ravan loses a slave. So Maya goes into the world of Sita and becomes a good friend of Sita. So Sita likes Maya very much. So much so that she appoints her as her main advisor. So whenever Sita wants to take any decision, she sends a WhatsApp message to Maya, and Maya immediately replies. So whatever Sita has to decide, she checks with Maya. So as an example, Sita might decide that I should stop smoking. And Maya, what does Maya do? Maya Maya is taking a form. Outer form is very friendly to Sita, but underneath, she's a demon. She's working for Ravan. So Sita says, I want to stop smoking. So Maya says, it's a good decision. But, it is now New Year's party going on. Why do you want to stop? Wait until tomorrow. Do it from tomorrow, not today. So each time you are hearing the word later, that is coming from Maya. Another time, Maya will say, it is very difficult. So many tried to give it up, they failed. So it is a difficult job. You may try, but it is all the time. It will keep telling it is difficult. Another time, Maya will say it's a long process. It might take years. Do it very gradually. Don't rush into this. Do you hear this? Do you hear some prompts from Maya? Another time, Maya says, what is Maya says? You are very weak. You tried things like this before, you failed. So why do you want to waste your time? Baba says, don't waste your time. Another time, Maya says, and Maya has got corporate lawyers working for it to think of excuses. And another set of lawyers to think of various doubts. What is the form of Maya in the cities? If you want to tell, what's the form of Maya in London, or any of your cities?
Like persuasion through advertising.
But
Just
in this case, we said Maya's job is decision. That is the level. Also decision, not any random decision, decision to stop Ravan, decision to become free from Ravan. That's where Maya's focus. So what is the form in cities?
destruction.
Sure. Another.
Cinemas, clubs, theater, phones, people.
In the cities, Maya's form is keeping you busy. You are so busy that you don't have time to know why you are busy. What is really important. You are in a completely opposite direction, working for the demon, and then he takes pride that I'm so busy. That is his you know reason for ego around being busy. Or they like to be seen as busy. So they find themselves, and then there is no time to think, am I in the right direction or am I in the wrong direction? So the few other forms of Maya, but Maya, we have to observe within ourselves. What is the form of Maya in this situation? How does this Maya come that stops you from doing the right thing? Sometimes it is very obvious. To know Maya is very, very straightforward. Sometimes you know what is right, and you still end up doing what is wrong. And that is the example of Maya. You know, Maya has got such a power, persuasion, and some kind of a clever argument, and you take a decision against yourselves. That is what Maya is. So here, Maya has got all this clever form, and Sita still feels it is she thanks Maya for very good discrimination, helping her take decision. So When we are seeing this map here, that one side is Ravan and Maya, and other side is Sita and Ram. So truly there is a game that is going on in everyone's head. And this game is a rather important game. One nice name for this game is Raz. It's a game. Raz just means game. But it is what is the unique about Raz? It is invisible game. It is not very visible. It is hidden game. Not many people even know that this game is going on. So it is hidden game, secret game, and it is also very significant game. Why it is significant? Because based on this is our life. So this is a game going on here. Maya and Ravan are on one side. Sita and Ram are on other side. If in any game that anyone plays, there can be winners and losers. You know, if you play football, you play chess, there are winners or losers. In every game, there are prizes, penalties. So also in this game, there will be winners and losers. You know, depends upon how they play. Sometimes Sita may win, Sita may also lose. The winners get prizes, losers get penalties. In other games, prize can be a medal. Even in Olympics, the ultimate prize is medal. That's all. In this game, the prizes are your birth. You are born into a situation of with a golden spoon in the mouth. That is what your birth becomes. All it is has influence on your life, long term in your life. So uh, if uh, if the Sita wins the game, your physical life, becomes like in a whole birth. You got a prize. If Sita loses, then there is penalty, there is misery. If you just visit some places on this planet and see the lives of people, and it may be happening even in your town. Just you need to go in some places and see the life led by people and what is happening there and why is it happening. And there's misery of all kinds. It can be misery because of health, it can be misery because of situations, social situations, because of finances, different kinds of calamities. And this message says that this come, it is not random. This Raj says that nothing happens by random, just by chance. Someone is taking birth in a royal family, and another is taking birth where there is no food. Same day they are born. It is not just chance. There are deeper reasons, and the Sita has won this game. If Sita has won the game, there are prizes. If Sita has lost the game, there are penalties. This is the essence of the law of karma. It is like if I have lost the game, I may do lots of charity, but there will still be penalties. So the essence of the law of karma is at this level. If you win this game against Ravan, then you deserve big prizes. You want to add anything? You want to say anything? So that's why it is a story, but story becomes very relevant for us in our, it is a psychodrama we are seeing, and we are getting a big secret here. You know, how to be lucky in life. You have to win over Maya, win over Ravan. Why people are unlucky in this world? Because they are careless in this game. And as was said, they may not even know the game. So if you want to make people lucky, if you want to be useful to people, and you have feelings of charity, then this is like working at a deep level. We're working right at the seed, and then they are guaranteed to be lucky, in their lives. Now there is one more game. We said this game, winners and losers, but there's one more game, and this game is called boxing. What happens in this game, boxing? In this game, there can be winner, there can be loser, there is another result, and that result is called knockout. You can be unconscious, and that is allowed in this game, sport. You are allowed to make other person unconscious. And what happens when a person is unconscious? He doesn't even know that there is a game. He doesn't know that he's in a game. We said before that all the people in your town, they all are sitas. They all are in the game, whether they like it or not. Ravan is there, Maya is there, Ram is there. Everyone is in the game. They may be religious people, they may not be religious people, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in the Ravan, but they are in the game. This no one can escape this. This is like a psychodrama of everyone. But if they don't even know that they are in the game, that means they are unconscious. Maya has made them unconscious. They are knocked out in this boxing match. And when they are unconscious, they don't even know that there's a game. They don't know the enemy. When someone is unconscious, don't know the enemy. They don't know the friend who is working for them. They don't know the friend. What else they won't know? We said when you are knocked out, you don't know the enemy, don't know the friend, don't know the enemy. That it's a game. When you are conscious, you realize who is the enemy, who is the friend, that it is a game. And what's the fourth thing you will know when you are conscious? If you answer this, you will get a prize. You deserve definitely a prize. If you become conscious, you come to know that it is a game. You are in a game. You realize this, that you can't be careless. You realize that there is a friend who is working for you. He really cares for you, wants you to win. And there's an enemy who wants to defeat you. And there's both forms, Maya and Ravan. You recognize it. What's the fourth thing you recognize when you are conscious?
That you can make a choice to return. You know
Yes.
you have a choice. You know your strengths. You get reacquainted with your power.
Yes.
It's not who I am.
Right?
I'm in the game and I need to play well to win. So you get the will to win.
Yeah. And this fourth thing is to know the line. If you are playing a game, if someone is playing tennis, he wants to know where the crease is. You know, if he doesn't can't see the line clearly, he will say, "I can't play the game. I first need to know where the line is." If the line is fuzzy, he will inform the umpire that the line cannot be seen. So here, you if you are in the game, if you are conscious, you very clearly know the line. You know, then only you can play the game. Otherwise, you may be playing against yourselves if the line is not even seen. And understand it, what it means. Know the line, what it means to cross the line. These are the factors. Now, so in the story, there is one more. We are talking about in the story of Bhakti, there is one more concept that is spoken of. Sita is unconscious, but within the story, there is an understanding to revive Sita. At present, all the Sitas are unconscious. They all don't even know that there is a game that is going on. So this Sita is unconscious. To revive this Sita who is unconscious, the magic answer there is a mythological herb. That is what is spoken of. Mythological herb that has power to revive the dead. Do you know the name of this? Yeah. The name of this herb is Sanjeevani. You heard this name? Have you heard this herb name?
Yeah, it's on the link.
So it is nice. Nice this. This Sanjeevani is a mythological herb and it has power to revive in the Sita that is unconscious. And obviously, in the story they show the herb, but we said, what is the meaning of the Sanjeevani? The meaning, what this herb represents, is the knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And this spiritual knowledge has a power to revive Sita. Now, there's lots of spiritual ideas in this world. So many books are published every year, everywhere, and so many organizations, spiritual organizations also. How do you know which is Sanjeevani and which is not Sanjeevani? And even on the God, there are some 16,000 books published last year on God by different people, and they are all different ideas on God. So there is lots going on, spirituality in the world. Some of them are contrary to each other. They are not all, they are having opposite ideas to each other, and they are all talking about spiritual progress. Then there is knowledge. They might call it all Sanjeev, now knowledge, spiritual knowledge. So how do you know which is Sanjeevani? Have you got some rational guidelines for yourselves, some checking mechanism, which is Sanjeevani, which is not?
Obviously, going beyond the name, but the knowledge, the special knowledge. It brings you into soul consciousness. if it's really beneficial, if it's Sanjeevani. It helps Sita to wake up. It touches you. It's, you know, intuitively that it's right.
As we said before, if it is Sanjeevani, it will help you understand the game. You will realize what is happening. There's all these players. You will be able to see it. It will help you understand the enemy clearly. There are very few in this world who will say these are enemies. Different vices and all this. This is enemy. There's addiction, attachments. There's very few. But if you can see, okay, these are Ravan here and this is Maya here. Maya is not a friend. Sita, that is confused, she thinks Maya is a friend. One who is sensible, she will realize that this is the enemy here. They're giving me this advice to keep me as a slave of Ravan. So she will recognize that. She will make the attempt to recognize Ram. Ram is the one who is helping her. She will soon recognize, come to know who Ram is, and definitely she wants to know very clear which is the line so that she can stay behind the line. Worth writing this down. What is this dotted line and what does it mean to stay behind the line? Behind the line, then there is safety. If she has crossed that line, then Ravan will be there. You are vulnerable. So she will be extra careful on this. She will know what that line is. Then we can say Sanjeevani has worked. Otherwise, it is not Sanjeevani. Someone is not even aiming to defeat this enemy or win the game. It is not Sanjeevani. It is knowledge of some kind. Just like there is knowledge of physics and knowledge of chemistry, there are many things in this world, some kind of knowledge to be healthy. There are yoga postures and knowledge, breathing techniques that may help you be healthier, but not Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani will help you win over Ravan, win this game. Now, okay, Sita has managed to become conscious, and she got Sanjeevani and become conscious. Doesn't mean uh, there is victory. To be conscious doesn't mean victory. Why? It is not victory. Ravan is still there. Imagine in the boxing ring, one player was unconscious, and so all the doctors come and he becomes conscious before the referee, gives a knockout. He becomes conscious. Doesn't mean he won the game. Just conscious is just a minimum that is required. But the other player is still there in the boxing ring, and next round starts. So Ravan is still there with all his 10 heads. And Sita has become conscious. Is it realistic for Sita to win the game when she was defeated all this time? She was knocked out. She has become conscious, just conscious. And now next round starts. Ravan is still there. Is it realistic for Sita to win the game? What do you think? Is it possible for Sita to win the game? If the answer is yes, how? How to win this game? It is good. We would like to say yes, but in any other boxing, if someone was unconscious and then he comes in the ring again to play the next round, chances of he really winning, are very low. But here, if you are saying chances are very high, then what is required?
Sita would have to do something different this time. Not fight alone, perhaps with the help of Ram, fight temptations, a different strategy. Not really until she shows courage and strength by keeping the constant support of Ram.
Yeah, say if there is a war going on, if you want to win this war, you need new information, and that information has power. New information. And what kind of information you need? You need information about your own strengths. In anything, it all depends upon what are your strengths. Based on that, our actions. You need to know your own strengths, and you also need to know the weaknesses of the enemy. And this is relevant in any war, any game, to know what is the weakness of the enemy and what are your strengths. If that new information comes, then with that you have a chance now. Sita has a chance to win this game. What is the weakness of the enemy here? There is Ravan there. Ravan is a monster. What is the weakness of Ravan? If you get a right answer, you get a prize. Chocolate. You get a chocolate.
Our own will, so connected to us, addictions, need you to fulfill its desire. It's the ego doesn't know Sita's awake. He doesn't know the strength of Ram. Ram is his weakness.
Ravan's one weakness here is each head of Ravan relies upon continuous supplies. That is the need of each head of Ravan. Reflect on it afterwards. If he doesn't get cigarettes, he is unhappy. Another head of Ravan, he needs supply every day. It needs. He needs to get into the thoughts. If he doesn't get it, he starves. Ravan starves. Just like if you got some aeroplane and it needs certain kind of refined fuel, or car, let us say you got a car, it needs refined fuel, you don't get it anywhere, then you can't use the car. It is a bit like that. You can only get it in a certain place, then car becomes useless. So Ravan's all the heads needs constant supplies, and if you don't get the supplies, that head of Ravan stops functioning. It is as straightforward as that. That's why he is desperate to get his supplies all the time. So that is one weakness of Ravan. Strength of Sita. Sita is immortal, and Sita really doesn't need anything. Sita is immortal without needing anything. From the story, she needs nothing. So she is truly safe and secure. She is invincible. No one can harm her. That is the reality of Sita. She is beyond harm, and no one can deprive her because she doesn't need. Like body needs air, body needs food. Sita doesn't even need food or air to breathe. It remains what she is forever. She is eternally safe. Now, this new information has a power to change the game altogether. Because based on this, she can plan a strategy. And what is the strategy? Stop the supplies of Ravan. Okay, she wants to stop the supplies of Ravan. So who is supplying Ravan? She wants to stop the supplies of Ravan. That's good. Who is supplying Ravan? And she realizes that she is the one who is supplying Ravan. Ravan is 100% dependent upon her. That makes her very powerful. She can stop the supplies, and Ravan is guaranteed to become unconscious. During the Falkland War in 1980s, there was a war between England and Argentina, and France was supplying certain missiles to Argentina, and those missiles were very effective to sink the boats. And it was very dangerous situation. Mrs. Thatcher found herself, and she spoke to President Mitterrand at that time, and he stopped the supplies. And they said that was the one factor that changed the course of the war, that helped Mrs. Thatcher win the war. If he was to get the missiles, then he would have won. That time General Galtieri in Argentina, he would have won the game, won the war. So in her case, she has to put pressure on Mitterrand, and Mitterrand then decides to stop the supplies. Here, Sita is herself is in charge. She can stop the supplies because no one else supplies Ravan. Sita is the only one supplies. So she can stop the supplies, and she's in a very powerful position now. And okay, she stops the supplies. Ravan will start banging the table. Ravan will create smoke from his ears and smoke from his nose, frighten her. But Maya knows that all this smoke is going to become less. She just need to continue with her policy, stop the supplies of Ravan, and Ravan will continue to become weaker. She knows it is guaranteed. That formula is guaranteed. Don't give to Ravan what Ravan needs. Whichever head of Ravan you stop the supplies, that head will become smaller. And so it is like a big secret here. Ravan's all the heads. You understand now, you recognize the game very clearly, and you stop the supply. And Ravan's form comes, but you know that Sita knows he cannot harm Sita even the slightest. He can frighten Sita, but he cannot harm Sita. So she takes that position in a 100% calm and knows that this is going to finish. Ravana is going to disappear. This is like the big secret of this victory over Ravan. And then we said the strategy here is stopping the supplies of the enemy. During the British and India, struggle of independence, Gandhi, his policy was non-violence, no army, no, don't touch a weapon, don't even criticize anyone. That was his policy. You have to dealing with the empire at that time. We had 1 million armed soldiers in India, and Gandhi's policy was No, don't. We are not going to touch a weapon, and we are not even going to criticize even. Non-violence at a very subtle level. But what was the strategy? In a political strategy, non-cooperation. Just non-violence will not bring victory, but uh, the strategy in this case was non-cooperation. Don't cooperate with the enemy in any possible. Don't work for the enemy, and that is what made the British come out of India. You know, they had all the soldiers; they couldn't use the soldiers. That was their strength. The using the military force, but that was irrelevant now. In this game, it was irrelevant. They had to think differently. So same policy here with Ravan. You understand Ravan's system has to, you want to remove that Ravan's rule, then don't cooperate with it. If you are cooperating with Ravan, then you are bringing it on yourselves. So stop cooperating. Ravan becomes weaker by the minute, and then it becomes easy to remove Ravan that is weak, that has already become small. Excellent. Let us hear any thoughts from you, and then we go for the.
Yeah, this new information brings like an energy to it because you can feel it in ourselves. You know, this it can be so clear, the Maya, and then we hear it and we think, whoa, it's like huge to see it so clearly. But to come back to the experience of security, um, and I quite like this. In a way, we're seeing an objective game, whilst it's very personal and an individual. We can start to think how Sita's qualities are, and really we're talking about the self, but see it's a clean as if we're seeing Sita in her starting position because she's conscious of her security and immortality at that point. So I think that's really interesting because in Raven's kingdom, there's just shades of grey. You can't be without negativity. It's reinforced by, theory that we are naturally angry, etc. So yes, even though in the chat it says getting past Maya can seem impossible, um, it's easier if you force yourself to do things that you know you need to do but are not doing. I suppose here it's not so much force, is it? It's with clarity, but yes, we get the courage. Don't tell Maya anything and let results speak for itself. Yeah, can we bypass Maya? If we stop texting Maya, you go there. What's the strategy?
Yeah, understand the subtle meaning also. After the rooms, after the break, we will discuss a little more about Maya. We can't just bypass in a superficial way. We need to understand and use the right antidote.
Yeah, we need to take the analogy in the right way. There's recognizing is first step. Yes, so we have opportunity for rooms, and is there anything you want to share beforehand?
Now we'll go to the rooms.
So we have a question. What inner games do you notice within yourself? And what would help Sita win over Ravan? It's a huge topic. And there's some question just to help get things started. So put that in the chat. And hopefully you'll be able to use the room time to share your thoughts and hear from others, and we'll see you back in just over 10 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you got some time. It's a huge topic. Create a moment to really get the feeling of Ram, Sita in their own world. Thank you. I got the feeling it was really powerful to share and also starts the process of journeying. Be great to hear what came up actually, if you want to type what would help Sita win. Meanwhile, I know there is the second part of this rich story, so welcome back to Prashant. Thank you.
Let us reset, remind ourselves that here is the invisible player, and the invisible player is dealing with this story world. Crossing the line is when we feel this story world, something within that story world has become important to us. And the invisible player thinks even a broken pot, it has become important to him, as if it is mine or it matters. He is crossing the line. When he understands he is just the invisible observer of this story. It is not his story, it is a story. Right now, Prashant is talking. That is happening in the story. And the invisible witness is observing it. This moment is observing the story, but with independence. Then he is behind the line. And we have the option to stay behind the line. That is what it means. Sita stays behind the line. To go into that foreign world and to use the word my, I, then it is complete confusion. She doesn't even know even that she has crossed a line. Doesn't know that there is a line even. We remind ourselves, right now we are remind ourselves. And we need that strength of Paras. Paras helps us to have discrimination. Sita then is happy to go and act in that story, do the things, but internally she knows very clearly she's in that foreign world as a trustee at most. She is going into that world with lightness, 100% lightness. Thank you. So far, we spoke about the, the way to stop Ravan, but as we discussed, there's a game, there's Ravan and there is Maya. So there is Maya, and Maya's department is there. We spoke of Maya comes with different trump cards. One time it will say later, another time it will say it is difficult, another time it will say you are weak. So Ram gives antidote to each of these. So each time Maya says later, here we want to underline that Maya, we don't use the word Maya when I am using the word later in my ordinary life. But when it comes to winning over Ravan, at that point, we are using the word later. That is what we call Maya. And in these cases, what Ram tells, what is the antidote from Ram? Ram says now or never. When anything right, don't delay it, do it now. Maya will say it is very difficult. What does Ram say? You can tell. What does Ram say if Maya says it is difficult? To get up before early is difficult. To create time for practice, it is difficult. Maya will come with many arguments. What does Ram say?
Easy, set an alarm.
Yeah, Ram says it is an easy Raj Yoga. Maya will say, you are weak. What does Ram say? We have an option to listen to Maya, or we have an option to listen to Ram.
Strong.
Yes, but Ram uses the word Shakti. Shakti is a goddess who rides lions. So if you are able to ride lions, you are not weak. In the Maya says, Maya has got uh, argument that it is a long process. It will take many, many years to bring about any change. And what does Ram say? Ram says it is a game of 1 second. If you want to really do something, bring about change, you will do it. It doesn't take long. Over here in Cambridge, many years ago, we had a patient, and he was smoking 80 cigarettes a day. I did not know that time that it is possible to smoke 80 cigarettes a day, but that was his life. Young man, and I couldn't even dare to tell him to stop also. Because I thought there may be some withdrawal effect, or what is going to happen here. But he himself stopped. Some little. We were planning to take him off the cigarettes, but he decided to stop. In the next day, and stopped a whole lot, and no side effects. Nothing happened. He was absolutely okay with it. Got some self-respect that he could do it, and nothing. So many changes happen if one wants in 1 second. And if we want, we can say it's a long, long process, and it may continue for months. But when we say it's a long, long process, you keep the enemy alive. You keep Ravan alive. And when Ravan is alive, suddenly he creates a bigger problem. So you never win that way. Maya has got corporate lawyers working for thinking of excuses. And what does Ram say? When there are excuses, you hear excuses. What does Ram tell you? You have a brain. You can use your brain to think of excuses. You can also use the brain to think of solutions. And you suddenly find for every so-called excuse, there is a solution. If you want to win, you will do it. So if there is a fire in us, you will find way to come out of the house and come out of the place. It may appear difficult before, but because there is fire, you will come find a solution. So here, take it seriously. Ravan is the demon. It is the worst situation. Doubts, Maya will come with different doubts. You may be very clear about things, but suddenly Maya brings doubt. We created one whole day to discuss about science and spirituality. Why? Because if it is not fully, deeply clear to you, Maya, one door remains open for doubt, and Maya will then use it. There is no evidence here, no doubt here, no proof. Throw the whole thing out. That is Maya's method. So to overcome this form of Maya, we use the word Nishchay in Hindi, and it means you have to bring yourself to the level where you are sure about every aspects. The main aspects of knowledge, you should be very, very clear and very sure. In a Hindi word, Nishchay, so there is, as if you can see, the table in front of you. And there's no doubt. Does the table exist? Doesn't exist? And you have seen it, you have touched it. Finish. In the same way, these spiritual areas, bring yourselves to the level where you are certain. And when you are certain, you get different results. But most important, the department of doubt finishes. You can then build on it and go further into other experiences. What is one form? Another form of Maya? We use the word busy. How do you deal with Maya's form of busy? We may have to ask ourselves, just create this minute of introspection. What is important to us? Busy, okay, but let us take a stop and reassess. What is important? To work for Ravan is important. Am I working for Ravan? Ask yourself. This being busy, what are you going to achieve? And if there is a death, if this whole thing was to finish and the body is to die, what is important to us? To work in that box is important, or to work for the soul is important. Am I doing enough for the soul? Just ask, it is introspection. And remain busy with Ram. Answer to this is deal with busy, remain busy. Keep the mind busy with Ram. It is not necessarily externally running around Ram, but internally keep your mind busy with Ram. It might mean knowledge of Ram, and the task of Ram, thoughts of Ram, but mind is busy. That's the big success. Excellent. So you want to add anything? Let us hear any comments from you or any questions. And Sarah, want to add any aspects of the overall story?
Yeah, we are in a world of Raven in a sense, but it doesn't necessarily need to be intimidating when we have context. So we also know that all are Sita, and I think that's powerful because one form of Maya is distracting Sita from Ravan, from what really matters, and make Sita fight against another Sita. So we often notice the mind can go towards people, for example. And so it's not about, it is really everyone is playing their game. And the more we win for ourselves, make it easier for others. And that helps, I guess, to be more introverted rather than Sita's kept in extroversion, trying to fix external Ravan himself or someone else's demands. So yeah, the mercy on Sita, that is really helpful. And even though it's world of Ravan, we all are naturally with Ram, with Sita is naturally with Ram. And so strengthening her intellect by knowing this is what is natural, normal, and ultimately achievable, and she will come back. You can't stay with Ravan forever. Some thoughts.
Yes. Just touching this as a few aspects. To win this game, those who have these 5 powers, the chances of victory are higher because it is a real war, inner war. We are using the word game for this. And what are these qualities? We can use the word powers, but qualities. One is determination. Someone who is determined, he wins. In fact, if you are determined, enemy gives up. Enemy, in this case, Ravan says, it is no point wasting time with someone like this person. The army that has discipline, that army wins. If you introduce in your life, in a routine, a discipline means every day you will do it, no matter what. At a certain time, you are going to use, half an hour, 1 hour for spiritual practice. You are going to do it many times. In this case, we start with the minimum. We said, in the first session, create 1 minute of practice, but go for the success maximum. Minimum, it is way in, because Maya says it is impossible. You say, no, it is possible for 1 minute. So success minimum, that is great. That is the starting position. But now, once you have got a better idea and you got clarity, go for success maximum. The another very important what we have seen so far is just your ability to take a decision that you want to remove this route. It has to come from you. We said the line, what it means, what Ravan means, understand it. This story needs revision, and you will get a written version of it. And you need to when you are going through it again, see what in your you will see the second time as your story. Sometimes the question is asked, what happens to Sita? It is the story, but it is your story. You know what is going to happen to Sita because it is your decision. And if the decision is taken to win, are this, as was said, Ram helps, and Ravan is very concerned you taking this decision. We need the power of discrimination. Discrimination. Some thought comes. Is it thought going to feed Ravan? Is it going to feed the enemy? Is it useful to you? We need to have some level. If there is a complete confusion at that point, then there is less chance of success. I am working for enemy and don't even know that you're working for the enemy. How to improve this quality of discrimination? Be in the company of those who have discrimination. Try and just even listening to like today's discussion. This kind of discussion helps. Okay, we can see things very differently. We are seeing the bigger model. Some group meetings, discussion. You hear others sharing. They all helps improve your discrimination. But in the journey, and another very powerful is having very clear destination for you. One is the destination in this life, but even for a day, as the day goes, what are you going to experience today? Make a plan for tomorrow. What you are going to play with in the mind. What is your aim? What you are going to experience whole day tomorrow? New Year's Day. you know, this is a good time, no, to aim for this full victory. And then stay with that. Once you got a very clear destination, then time is used around that. If there is no clear destination, time gets used in something else. Ravan will use it. Idle mind is the devil's workshop. So if you have not kept a very clear destination, Ravan will win. So great to understand this. And just one more aspect. In every game, there are winners, and winners get prizes. In other games, you get prizes of gold medal. Here, in time, you will understand what the first prize is. It is not just a gold medal. Do you want to tell what the first prize is? First prize is golden age. Second prize, other places you get a silver medal. Here, silver age. not just medal, but your life, and not just one birth, but whole age you are in this biggest prize, because the game is like this. It is a hidden game, but it is so strategic game. Not many people even know this game, can understand the enemy. But if you go through this, use your intelligence in the understanding this game, winning this game, then prizes are disproportionate. And this is a prize, something that death doesn't take it away. Other prizes, death, everything finishes. Here, this prize goes beyond one life. So beautiful, beautiful secret you are understanding for the new year. Congratulations for that. And I will stop here, and we'll be meeting tomorrow. But Sarah has got some thoughts to share for the new year, and may sing a song.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, I won't sing a song, but yeah, so it would be lovely to think of a homework, and maybe that even with this change of year, would you like to suggest?
The one big homework in this context is stop the supplies of Ravan, and in this case, stop the supplies of thoughts. One is stop the supply of choose which hates you are going to eliminate at the immediate level, and and start with stopping the supplies, and stopping supplies of thoughts. And the easy way to do this is keep the mind busy with Ram. And once the mind is busy, Ravan cannot use that mind. It is a very, very easy way and once Ravan becomes weaker, he is not going to demand your mind. Otherwise, mind gets used by Ravan in a wasteful kind of way. It was not me. It was not me singing.
Sorry, Prashant, there was some cacophony happening here. Please repeat the last bit in case it got interrupted by all the creativity.
No, they heard.
So yeah, thank you. And keeping the mind busy, and this is the way you start the year is going to be a powerful thing. So we're going to create a few moments for a song.
Yes.
Very warm greetings for the new year. Thank you.
A year is ending, the night grows still, old chains grow weak, old voices fall across the line of doubt and fear. A soul remembers who she is. This new year is Sita's victory. She wakes, she chooses, she is free. One step back to truth and light. Ram comes close, the dark takes flight. No golden deer, no borrowed dreams, no hungry heads to serve again. She stops the feed, the noise grows thin, a quieter strength begins within. This new year is Sita's victory. From Maya's sleep she rises free. One clear choice, one steady flame. Raven fades, she wins the game. If I choose now, not later on. If I stand awake till the break of dawn, 1,000 steps come rushing through. The way is open, the self is true. This new year is Sita's victory, a crown of peace, simplicity. Midnight turns, the soul stands tall. Home again, beyond it
Hmm. Om Shanti. Warm greetings for the new year. See you tomorrow.